discretionary power to grant waivers where custom duties and particularly duty-free is concerned. According to this, it has not changed. And if it has, we'd love for you to point it out to us. And what I just want to lay on the table, Mr. President, is that I don't think it's a situation where any one of us would argue or say that persons who seek relief should not get relief. And I don't think any government or anybody in politics would say that they would not support people getting some sort of relief. But it cannot be discretionary. Whosoever will may come, I choose, I decide who gets. Yes, we are saying we are bringing some legislation to Parliament, but there has to be some sort of policy. How do people qualify to meet or to be granted concessions? And in particular, we're talking here where it hits most of us. I've heard some people saying that people are saying it's just about duty-free. But we can't fool ourselves. That is where most people in Antigua and Barbuda seek assistance. And duty-free has now become the norm. Whereas once upon a time it was a privilege, it is now a norm in Antigua. And if you do not get it, let us not fool ourselves, people feel slighted. And it has to be corrected. So I think as much as this bill is seeking to streamline, where the issue is, has not been addressed. Mr. President, Senator Shawn made the point that it doesn't happen in any other country. And I did make some calls around and investigate in other countries. And from what I'm understanding, it's only Antigua and Barbuda where you're purchasing a vehicle and it's almost like it's automatic that you must get a duty-free. I remember back in the day, I was hoping to find out exactly when, but I couldn't put my hand on the regulation as it is. But I remember back in the 80s, as far back as in the 80s, when it was civil servants, nurses, teachers, people in agriculture, fisheries, I think it was, who were provided relief in terms of, not ABSC, sorry, in terms of duty. In fact, in some of the collective bargaining agreements, and I see Mrs. Small as a civil servant of old, is nodding her head. In some of these collective bargaining agreements, civil servants were given duty-free concessions as a way of making up for their salaries. So we are saying that yes, there has to be, there might be some relief, but there has to be a policy decision. It's not the Minister of Finance, in his discretion, grants to whomever he chooses and whoever he thinks deserve. What sort of means test is being done to suggest that these people who come forward, they qualify? Mr. President,